Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about buying or leasing a property in a rural region or even a township in South Africa. So you're about to start your business and you are looking for a place basically to operate from. So in most cases, if you come from a rural region, you don't have a lot of available commercial spaces to let out or rent out from. So in most cases, you have to take the process of acquiring land for your business. So the main issue now is how do you go about doing that? In most rural regions that are governed by traditional authority, meaning unenkosi, there's a chief, there's a king, whatever. So when these things are in place, the land is usually under communal ownership, meaning the land is actually all of the land is owned by the state, but is governed by the king or whatever council is there. So what you need to know about this is most of that land cannot be sold. You can never take ownership of it. It belongs to the state. You can't own that land. And chances are, even if you're operating from that piece of land, you can't take a bond, you can't take a loan based on that property, because what the bank will want is a title deed, which you won't be having, because all you're gonna have is right of tenancy, right of tenant, right of usage. So you're just going to be given permission to use that land. You're not going to own it. That's one thing that you need to know and be very careful about. So, but when you're in a township or a rural town, basically where land is owned by a municipality and individual people, so now you go and you want to buy land. So the best thing to start off is by going to the municipality, because all land in such areas are owned by someone. It's either an individual, a private individual, or the municipality itself, meaning the state. So all land have an ownership basically. Someone owns it at the end of the day. So if you are looking for a land and maybe you don't even know where to start, you don't even know which parcels of lands are for sale, the best thing to do is go to a local municipality and go to the corporate offices. That's where you'll find where each stands are, where they're located, who is selling them, who owns them. And that's the great thing you need to know, because once you maybe yourself you see, this is where I want to start my business, this is the piece of land that I'm actually looking for, but you don't know who owns it. All you need to do is find the stand number, the F number, house number, whatever, and take it to the corporate office of the municipality, and they will tell you who's the owner of that land. So, and then you need to go out and buy it from him, because you can't negotiate the purchase of the municipality if an owner is a private individual. You need to go and negotiate yourself for them. So then now comes the issue of funds, because at the end of the day you need to pay for that land. It's not like the owner is going to give it to you for free as if you two have been friends for quite some time now. So how do you go about on that? First of all, the commercial banks, basically those big name banks, they won't really fund you for that. Don't even try, especially if you're a startup and you're looking to buy land and you say, I'm going to take the land cost to the banks and say, give me a loan, give me a bond on this. Unless you are working, you have a permanent job and you are applying for a bond on it, that they might look at you. But if you're a startup and you are not working and you are looking for capital to buy the land from the bank, ask this. It's not gonna work. There's no bank that's gonna give you that without any security. So then, what options are there, especially for the youth? What options do you have? I think the easiest one and most effective is actually going to the NYDA, which is the National Youth Development Agency. They are located throughout the whole country. So you just need to Google your nearest office. So what you're gonna do there is that you are looking for to buy these premises for business use, for commercial use. So you are starting a business, and NYDA funds youth-owned businesses. So when you get there and you look that man or that woman in the eye and you say, "Hi, I would like to borrow money for land acquisition," because buying land is titled land acquisition. You wanna take ownership of land, of a piece of land. So when you go there and you are asking for that kind of money, let's say basically in a rural town or rural region, I don't think you're not going to need that, unless you are starting a farming enterprise. You're not going to need that huge space of land. So I think the 100,000 maximum grant that they provide there is more than enough for you, because I don't think you're going to buy a stand that costs more than 100,000 in a rural settlement. I don't think so. If you want to buy one that costs that much, I wonder where you stay at. So they provide 100,000 rand grant, which means it's a grant, like child grant. You don't owe them back, they just give it to you. But it's not that easy to get it, because most people think you're just gonna go there and say, I'm gonna start this business, but I need this money to do this and that. So since you guys got me and I got you back, I'm going to give you a simple tips on basically how you can convince them that you actually deserve that 100,000. So first of all, it has to depend on the type of business you are doing. So I'm going to choose quite, it's not the most difficult, but it's actually one of the easiest businesses to start. But let's take, you want to develop, it's in a rural town, you want to develop those rooms to let, those stretch of rooms where there's a line of rooms basically. They don't have showers, they don't have anything, it's just the rooms. You are renting a room, you let out a room. You rent maybe for 800, 1,000 rand a month. So somebody comes to your place and rents out a room for whatever. Let's take that business for instance. So this might seem easy on paper. When you say this is how I'm going to generate money, people are going to live there every month. At the end of the month, they're going to pay 800. There'll be 10 of them. The business is going to generate 8,000. This, the levies are this. The rates and taxes are this. I'm going to pay water this. Electricity will be prepaid for each room. So it sounds easy to detail on paper, but when you are going to ask for finance at it, because first of all, you need to look at where you're asking for finance. That's why when most investors are telling people to pitch their ideas to investors that are involved into that field, because you can't go to Sasol and then say you want to pitch them electric car idea. They want things that burns fuel. So you need to know your market. You can't just go there and say, okay, I want to pitch you guys this. It's not gonna work. So what happens here now is that when you go to the NYDA, you need to understand what is their goal, what is their mandate, because they're government-owned agencies, so they have a mandate, and that mandate is to develop youth-owned enterprises, basically startups, grow youth-owned businesses, etc. So when you go there and you say, I want to build rooms to let, there's a slight problem in that business of yours, and the fact that it's actually really not a business. If you look at it clearly, renting out, it's not really a business, because what you do is every month you know how much you're gonna make to the exact. This month I'm gonna make 8,000. It's gonna be 8,000. It's not like on a good month it's gonna be 10,000. No, it's gonna be 8,000, because you are renting 10 rooms for 800 each. At the end of the month equals to 8,000. So that thing alone tells you that your business has a kind of a problem, which means it's always constant. And what they want to do is they want to grow. They want you to employ people. So how are you going to employ people with something that's always constant? So when you start and you develop and you go there and you say, I'm starting these rooms, then you must have a plan for growth. You must assure that person who's going to assign you that 100,000 that, okay, this person is going to grow to a point that he's going to start hiring more people in his company, because you're going to start a company. You're not going to put this in your individual name. You're going to start a company. It's going to be a legit business. You're going to register for tax, and you're going to start a company that has potential to grow. That's what they want. You can't go there and pitch something that doesn't want to grow. You can't say, okay, I'm going to build this 10 rooms and I'm going to collect 8,000 a month. That's a passive income for you. Why would anyone want to build a passive income for you for doing nothing? So what you're going to say or present to that person is that, okay, these rooms that I'm going to start, and I'm going to use your money to help fund. What I'm going to do with them is that I'm going to use those rooms to generate money, have traction, basically traction, have a banking history, open a banking account. That money will go to the bank account so that the bank can recognize that company is generating revenue. Even if it's 8,000 a month, the bank can see there's revenue coming in. Then you can say, after that, the plan to grow is then I will use the property to secure a loan so that I can develop another property. Now you are becoming a property developer. So when you're saying you're a property developer, now you start telling the man or woman at the NYDA, say, I'm going to hire these people. There is this guy called Tabang Ntsakwe who does architecture. I'm going to hire Ntsakwe. He's 22 years old. He does amazing drawings. He's the one that's in the future of the company is going to do the drawings for us, the layout plans, and all submissions we need to do regarding building regulations. And then we're going to hire Tsepiso. Tsepiso has a contract to build houses. She's a contractor. She has an amazing skill. She's a woman who's diving into the men's world. She knows how to put bricks on. She knows how to lay bricks. She does roofing also. Then I'm going to hire Tabiso to do the electrical and plumbing. So you need to say all those things for them to see actually this is a business going on. You have a plan that's going to grow and also in the same time empower other people. And if those other people are youth, then your case becomes much stronger to the NYDA. So that's how you need to plan it. Other than that, how else can you fund it? If the NYDA fails, it's going to be tough. But crowdfunding, I find it quite weird unless your family is about to come into your rescue. Let's say the piece of land is 50,000. And your parents can maybe chip in half of that. Your brothers can chip in. Your sisters can chip in. Your uncles. But I'm quite very wary about these things because at some point of life, somebody might think that you owe them back for what they helped you with. So I don't really like crowdfunding that much. So it's either that or you take a loan at the bank. Basically, you ask someone to take a loan on your behalf, and they come as security for you, and you pay back the loan. I think that's about it because there's no other way to do it. So the lessons that you need to take from this video is one: if you need to buy a property, you need to know where it's located and who owns it. Municipality, you need to know what is it zoned for, meaning what can you do on the property. Again, this at the municipality. You need to know if it's for residential use, meaning you can only build a house and live on it and you can't run a business from it, then you need to rezone it to commercial use. Again, this process you need to start it at the municipality or get yourself a town planning consultant to start the process for you. So these are actually the key take points that you need to take from here. Because let's say, for instance, you want to use that stand to let's say open a tavern, for instance. First of all, what you need to know is if you are planning to open a tavern, the NYDA is not going to fund you because they are not funding businesses that are reliant on, I think, tobacco and alcohol. So if your business revenues are reliant on those two things, they are not going to be funding you, brother. So yeah, if you're going to start a tavern, you need to know that before you even apply for your license, the property that you are going to be selling those beverages, those delicious and cold beverages, then it needs to be licensed for commercial use. You can't sell alcohol on a residential property unless it's a shebeen and somehow you get a consent from the municipality to actually allow you to run a shebeen. But other than that, you need to get it to rezoned for commercial use. And that's actually not quite a hard process. Many people think that rezoning is actually quite a hard process. It's really not that hard. You just if you can get yourself a planning consultant, do that if you have the money. If not, just go to your municipality and tell them your intentions. I don't know how much they charge, but I think it's 500 now municipality, but I'm not sure. But go check. They have a payout slip at the municipality which shows how much and everything costs basically at your town planning department. So go to your municipality, go to your town planning department, tell them this is the property that I am planning to buy and I'm planning to rezone to commercial. They will tell you that no, we're not going to allow that, or yeah, we can actually allow that. And tell them, especially if it's for a tavern, let them know that you are planning to actually run a tavern there, because a tavern is seen as a disturbance in your community. So you need to know how to approach that, because when you go to the liquor board, your case is going to be stronger when you say the municipality are well aware that I'm running a tavern, and then they're going to ask about your neighbors. Do your neighbors know you're going to be making noise at 1 a.m. in the night or in the morning? 1 a.m. is actually in the morning, right? So you need to tell your neighbors as well that you're going to be running a tavern on the property. Let them sign to consent that okay, we are aware and we do actually accept that it's going to be running a tavern. And yeah, basically that's it. It's really not that hard. The hard part is just getting the finance. The rest of the things are quite easy. So I wish you luck in getting your first property and all the best, guys. Cheers.